Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I think the uniqueness of the Reggae Girls is they embody the national motto of Jamaica, which is out of many one people. So when you look at the entirety of the Jamaica squad, you have dark-skinned girls, mixed-race girls, girls who have black and Asian in them. You also have the homegrown players, so like your Bunny Shaw, your Konya Plummer, your Den Blackwood. So what that means in terms of from a grassroots perspective is girls who are born in Jamaica can look at a Bunny Shaw and hear that authentic accent and say, you know, if Bunny can make it, then so can I. Once you hear that authenticity, that raw Jamaican accent, they should be able to look at a Bunny Shaw who's now our captain to say, if Bunny can do it, especially if you come from the same community, the same parish as her, if she can do it, then so can we.
I want to give a big bless up to the Reggae girls out there. They ain't believe in us. John did. Reggae girls, keep winning, keep inspiring. I know you're going to be great out there, World Cup. Sadella Marley, number love. Bless up from DJ Khaled.
And I'm representing for the Reggae girls. You know what I mean? Big up on yourself every time. Especially if you're qualifying for the World Cup back to back. You know what I mean? Sadella, big up yourself. One love every time. You know the thing go. Blessing off a flow like a river. Blessing off a flow like a river. What the Reggae girls do? Left them name night earth like a queen. Me have to big up the top soccer team. You know Massacre represent. Jamaica supporting every time. You know the thing go.
Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I feel like I'm from UK, you know.
See the moonlights on the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Talawa TV is in the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Got a corner on the telephone. Yeah, this is the Ocean of the Messenger, and you're watching Talawa TV with the host and best. Davis, take it away.
My followers, how are you all? Good afternoon, good evening, possibly good morning. All depends on where you are in the world. Welcome back to another live stream. I'm sounding a little bit echoey. Let me know how I'm sounding in the comment section. I am sounding very echoey tonight. I'm not sure why that is. But do let me know how I'm sounding in the comment section, and I will do my best to even things out. Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are having a blessed Sunday. So you guys already know the weekend Sundays usually where we talk about the weekend's performance pertaining to the Reggae girls and Reggae boys at their respective clubs. But I'm not going to be doing that tonight. Mainly because I just feel like there's more pressing conversations to be had pertaining to the Guardian's report. And also what was mentioned in the Sportsmax interview there with Dennis Chung. So because of that, I've kind of switched focus for tonight's show. Not going to be talking about any weekends of action performance. I might do it in the week. To be honest with you, it depends on how I'm feeling, because I don't know about you guys, but I think I might have asked you guys a question on either Friday night's live stream or the stream before that, where I basically asked you guys, like, when was the last time like that you guys felt, paraphrasing, like at ease when it comes to watching the Reggae girls or just having like general conversation about the senior women's national team? I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it's been a while since we've been able to just have a easy, light-hearted conversation. I know for most of us, definitely me included, that we usually look to the national team, especially where the women's team is concerned, and maybe for some of you where the men's team is concerned, although it's probably not to a great extent, that for the most part some of us look to our national team as like a place of solace, you know, where you come and you unwind, and we have all these different types of conversations. Obviously when it comes to playing national games, we all like gather and do like watch alongs and talk about the team performance, etc. But it's been feeling like quite depressing. It's been everything to do with like Reggae girls, especially when it comes to like off the field issues. It's been feeling like heavily depressing for a while. And I did tell you guys maybe over a year ago, I was just like, you know, I don't think I can continue to do this no more, because it is far too draining. Like mentally, it just takes a lot to just stay focused and not be affected by what's been said. And woman to woman, when you think about equality, or as it relates to the reggae girls, lack thereof, respect, just wanting to fight for basic respect as it relates to our women's team, it just kind of feel like a never ending battle. And I feel like I am definitely back in that position where it's just like everything that's been said over the last maybe 2+ years, if I get my maths right, it just kind of feel like we're back to square one. I don't know how you guys are doing, but I just feel, especially today, like I just feel so like depleted and slightly like disinterested. But I definitely think because the topic of conversation is still relatively current, so of course it does mean that we do have to have our own conversation. But yeah, definitely tonight I'm feeling like rather like low and depleted, because it's almost like here we go again, a allegation, and conversations around said allegation, where I think for the most part a lot of people thought was put to bed and done and dusted. It appears not. It appears that there's still some unanswered questions there. And even when I went through the Sportsmax interview there, I don't know if you guys want me to read the Sportsmax interview with Dennis Chung, the general secretary of JFF. Even when I went through that interview there, didn't really offer much. I kind of read the interview and then left it feeling like, well, the main question doesn't seem to have been answered. I don't know what you guys make of that interview, but yeah, just in general, broadly speaking, the recent reports from The Guardian, again, pertaining to the allegation there surrounding head coach Hubert Busby, followed by Chung's interview with Sportsmax. You guys can see that interview there on the screen in front of you. Do let me know if you want me to give that a read. For me, in my opinion, when I couple all of that together, it does still feel quite perplexing. So let me know, see what you guys are saying in the comments section. Typical Jamaica. Good night to yourself. Blessings to yourself, Paul and Mr. Yee. Good night to yourself. Again, guys, if you're just tuning in, let me know how you are feeling about the recent reports, again, taken from The Guardian, and also with, I guess you can call it maybe a follow-up from Sportsmax, right? The headline read for itself. It says, General Secretary Dennis Chung defends JFF's decision to rehire Busby, labels media allegation as a witch hunt. So if you guys haven't read that one, I can probably go through like the main talking points. I think I might go over and look at that in terms of the main talking points, and maybe like share some quotes with you guys taken from Mr. Dennis Chung. Now, when I look at everything that is going on in hindsight, and I'm talking about when the allegation first came to light, I think it might have been reported by The Guardian. I think it was reported by the Guardian when the allegation came to light. Subsequently, what followed was the Jamaica Football Federation deciding to suspend Hubert Busby. And I thought at the time, definitely that was the right call to make, given the background into the allegation and so on. I thought that was the right decision to make, and I still think that was the right decision to make. I think when you look at what I don't know if I should say if what he was or is accused of, because as I said, I am still feeling quite perplexed. But given to the pertaining to the allegation, I should say, due to the nature of the allegation, as I said, back then I thought that was the right call, and I still think that was the right call. I know some people didn't agree with that. I'm not really sure how you can't agree with a suspension. It's not as if they fired him, suspended him, pending investigation, something of that ilk. I can't quite remember, but I think that was how it went down between Busby and the Federation. But I think, if I'm being honest, when I look at everything, it's funny because I'm thinking about some of the stuff that Chung said in that Sportsmax article, and I think I might have to read that with you, because the way when I finished reading that article, all I could say to myself is that, given what we know of the Jamaica Football Federation in terms of the image that is portrayed by the JFF, it's almost as if we have now been forced to be in a position where we now take what's been said from the Jamaica Football Federation in terms of their representative. We take much of that with a pinch of salt. I'm not sure if you guys can if they can blame us. It kind of feels like they probably do. They probably think that we should think better of them. But I think history definitely speaks for itself. I think what we've seen in history has forced us to question comments that comes from the Jamaica Football Federation, be it press release or statements, definitely have forced us to question what's been said. And as I said, take much of what's been presented to us with a pinch of salt. Now, as it relates to that article there from Sportsmax that you guys are looking at in terms of the headline, I still have a few questions there for Mr. Dennis Chung, because unless I have misread the article, I don't think what needed to be answered in terms of the $1 million question, I don't feel like that was answered in the article. So in terms of Mr. Chung, I still do want to know, and I think for the most part, a lot of us still want to know what method was used to conduct the due diligence check in regards to the reappointment process for the current head coach Hubert Busby. Because I still feel like that's an unanswered question. And in my opinion, the statute of limitation is still unclear, I should say. My apologies. I think the statute of limitation there is still unclear. I don't know what you guys have to say about that, but I do believe it is still unclear. And also, another question that I would love to ask Mr. Chung, and for him to be honest and give us a honest response, is, did FIFA state that Busby was cleared to return to work due to being found not guilty? Because I think that is quite important. I think it's quite important for us to know at this point, was he cleared to return to work due to not being found guilty? And I kind of feel like, again, that's a question there that has been left unanswered. If you are swaying in the camp of wanting to believe what is reported by the JFF in terms of their statement back in, I think that statement there press release came back in May when they announced the reappointment of Hubert Busby, and then coupled with tonight's interview from Sportsmax. So yeah, those are a couple questions there that I would love to know, because as I said to you guys, I am not privy to certain information. My thing with my channel, how I've grown a reputation, is my opinion, and I've always doubled down on the fact that it is not factual, it is my opinion. And sometimes, in terms of my growing reputation covering the Girlz, sometimes I hit the nail on the head. And I'm absolutely correct. And there might be times where it's just like, it is very far from the truth. I'm nowhere near correct, right? So as I said, in my opinion, a lot of what's been said to us, it does make me feel very perplexed, leave myself feeling quite confused. But again, in terms of the $1 million question, I really do want to know due diligence. I've always been the type to when it comes to speaking with you guys, I've always shared my concern as it relates to due diligence. And these are the things that it gets me upset. And this is where it's difficult for me to maintain or control my emotions, like woman to woman. Due diligence is something that is big on my agenda. I've always spoken about it on my channel. And so now it does feel quite heavy that we're talking about a subject where due diligence yet again is being brought to the forefront. Because as I said, if I allow my mind to wander and assume, and it's never good to assume, that you did not do your due diligence check in terms of dotting the I's and crossing the T's when it came to reappointing Hubert Busby, depending on the pertaining to the outcome there with regards to what FIFA shared with him, then it does make my mind wander, and it does take me to a deep and dark place, because I'm then thinking, if you're not purely based on assumption, not doing thorough due diligence check as it relates to your senior women's national team, what does that due diligence check or lack thereof mean when it comes to the underage group, and that's where things get a little bit uncomfortable for me, or even more uncomfortable, concerning, and scary for the most part. So yeah, again, and it might be a case where it's not just a question for Dennis Chung. It might be a question for those guys there in the high echelon of the Jamaica Football Federation. Did FIFA state that Busby was cleared to return to work due to not being found guilty? I think that's a very fair question to ask. I don't know if you guys have read the Sportsmax report, staring right at you guys there in the center of my screen. But again, if you want me to touch on it, I'm more than happy to do so. As I've said, that for me is the $1 million question. And also I do, because I still think, having read the article, I still kind of feel like I'm still in no man's land. I am keen to, wanting to know, will the JFF seek clarity from FIFA pertaining to the Guardian's report, right? Because what's been reported in the Guardian, if you're going to be saying, if you're disputing what's in the Guardian, then that then makes one's mind wonder whether the Guardian was is telling the truth. So again, if so be the case, will the Jamaica Football Federation seek clarity from FIFA pertaining to the Guardian's report? I think those are some fair questions there to answer. And in the midst of all of this, it feels heavily, and it pains me to say, because it just feels like we are now just back at square one. And, you know, when I think about square one, I'm talking about the tug of war between the women's team, the JFF, and pretty much all that support surrounds the women's team. And it just doesn't look good, and it doesn't feel good, because, you know, in terms of that tug of war there, unfortunately for the Reggae Girls, they are once again caught in the middle of drama and allegation that quite possibly, if we're looking at that Guardian article, it does seem like it won't be going anywhere anytime soon, unless my interpretation of it is wrong. But as I said, I do feel like there is some unanswered questions there that, again, even after reading that Sportsmax interview there with Dennis Chung, it just still feels like questions are being left unanswered. So for me, having read that article, why would the Guardian publish lies? Those are some of the questions there that I'm asking. And again, it would be great if someone from the Jamaica Football Federation could answer those questions. Why would the Guardian publish lies? Why would the Guardian pursue a witch hunt? Because you do see witch hunt in quotations there, taken from that interview there with Sportsmax and the General Secretary of the Jamaica Football Federation, Dennis Chung. And it begs me to wonder, if it is a witch hunt, as it is stated there in the article, does that mean it was a slow news day? Was it a slow news day for the Guardian, or is it something else? Now I went back over on the Guardian's website and see if I can change this one for you. Hopefully it does work. Let's see if I can highlight. I'm gonna go back over to the Guardian's article, because I've been trying to make sense out of nonsense. And to be honest with you, I'm still running around in circles, not really sure where to go. So as it relates to, this was the article here, which we pretty much, I did a run through, read the article with you guys and tried to like make sense out of nonsense. You should be able to see the headline. Don't want to read the headline. It does say, Jamaica FA falsely claims women's team coach was cleared of alleged sexual misconduct. So what I then did earlier on was I clicked on the writer's name. Now his name, as I said on my last live stream, Matthew Hall, and it does say here, writes about sports, culture, and people for the Guardian and Sydney Morning Herald, I think it's pronounced, among others. His book, The Takeaway Game, was made into an award-winning film. So I wanted to see if I can understand the type of journalist that Matthew Hall is in terms of being reputable. I should think that the Guardian, for what it's worth, in terms of who they are, I believe that they wouldn't hire someone that isn't trustworthy in terms of writing the stories for them. And that's because that they themselves are notable. It's not just anybody that can write for the Guardian. That they're not just going to pick someone up off the street and just say, yeah, put pen to paper and write an article for me. So I went and I looked at Matthew Hall, and I noticed that he has written a number of reports on concerning issues in sports. So yes, he has written a number of concerning issues in sports, and you can kind of see the first one. I think this is his last article. It is in relation to our coach for the senior women's national football team. Jamaica FA falsely claims the women's team coach was cleared of alleged sexual misconduct. And so I was going through the list of articles there. You can see sexual abuse in sports, and if I click on that one, you should be able to see the name again. The headline does read for itself: questions mount about firm investigation Hockey Canada abuse claims. And if I continue to go along, you can see more articles there written by Matthew Hall. You can see another one here. If I click on it again, written by Matthew Hall, it says critics say absolutely no change in Canada soccer despite scandals. And it does say here, the governing body for the game in Canada has questioned MPs looking into abuse and poor governance, but some believe little process has been made. So continue to go a little bit deeper, and I think I went quite far, as back as maybe the third page again, sexual abuse in sports. This one, once again, written by Matthew Hall, and it says, I told them multiple times systems failed when Toledo, I believe that's the coach's name, alleged sexual misconduct was reported. So saying that to say, in case I haven't said it already, he does again, combining with what we know with regards to the Guardian, I don't think that they would allow a journalist of any standard to push out a story like the one that we saw some days ago. When you look at Matthew Hall, I'm going to change the screen again for you guys. When you look at Matthew Hall and a couple of the stories that I've presented to you guys in terms of the example there, I should think, based on his experience of writing for a reputable newspaper, and also the similarities in stories that he has covered, and I gave you guys those headlines of the example there, I should think that he would do the basics, which is to ensure that he has dotted his I's and crossed his T's, because I can't see why he would just randomly pick up a story and just go with it. Like, where is the rich witch hunt? Who is orchestrating the witch hunt? Who is fueling the witch hunt? I don't really understand it. But I will say, given Jamaica Football Federation, they have done themselves no favor, because over the years they have developed a reputation, especially when it comes to women's football. One can sit here and say that you're not serious when it comes to women's football. One can sit here and say that you do not care about women's football. And care is probably subjective. You can probably go quite deep with that. But it's safe to say that there is very little, if any, respect given to the women's side of the game. And some of the stuff that you guys have said in relation to new recruitment where the men's team is concerned, we can even analyze that and say, oh, really, do you actually care about women? So when people are pushing back and are asking questions and are going through this reported piece there by The Guardian, don't be offended. Don't feel offended, because it is within reason. Of course, people are going to be asking the necessary questions. And if people are not trusting of you, Jamaica Football Federation, you only have yourself to blame. You only have yourself to blame. If people have grown a reputation where they are not trusting of you, you can only blame yourself. You can only blame yourself. If the people are not trusting of you, you can only blame yourself. So when Chung has come out and he's got this article there, maybe I should go ahead and switch that back for you guys. Can I even find the article? I don't know if I can. I might have to go back a little bit. Bear with me. Let me see if I can get this article up again. When Chung is coming out and he's making Dennis Chung, and he's talking about witch hunts, to me, it's almost as if it's not holding water, because I'm not sure if I can trust you. I have reasons to not want to trust you or the Jamaica Football Federation, if I'm being completely honest. I'm trying to see if I can bring that that story back up, but it doesn't seem to be working. Actually, my screen is currently loading, so you're gonna have to just be patient and wait on me. All right. And when we look at the Jamaica Football Federation as well, when I talk about the fact that it feels like you just have no respect for women, this is one of the reasons. It's evident again where it just feels like you just don't have no respect for women. Let me just go ahead and check something. Bear with me here, guys. I want to go and check something before I continue. Let's go ahead and check something, right? So I'm going to do a refresh. I'm going to do a refresh, and I'm looking at the Jamaica Football Federation Instagram page, right? Let's click on their last post. Their last post was what, 1 day ago, where they have more concerning matters, clearly, because the elephant in the room that we're all discussing clearly isn't something that they need to comment on. So their last post was a day ago, and they are promoting the Jamaica versus USA match, which is coming up later on in this month. I think, what is this, November the 14th? And if I go over onto their Twitter, let's go ahead, because I don't want to sit here and like purposely lie to you guys. So let's go and look at their Twitter. Twitter is the same thing. Their last post was on November 2nd, and they're actually talking about the men's team, which again, you're avoiding the elephant in the room. You're clearly avoid whether you're doing it intentionally or not. And we're going to talk about scratch the surface there as it relates to the blatant disrespect towards a couple of the trailblazers there within our team. You know, the blatant disrespect towards Bunny Shaw, the blatant disrespect towards Allison as well. Both, one is supposed to be the current captain, the other is supposed to be the vice captain, but everything is kind of up in the air. So we don't really understand, and that's just me just vaguely scratching the surface. Point I'm trying to make is we've seen over the course of the years, and even up until recently, that you appear to just not respect women. Those in the high echelon of the Jamaica Football Federation, you have given us reasons to believe that you just don't respect women. So I think when people are asking questions there, what method was used to conduct the due diligence check, I'm not really sure why people are offended by that, and why people are failing to understand why we are asking these questions. Because I just checked the Jamaica Football Federation on social media handles, both on Twitter and also on Instagram, and it has been over 48 hours since that report there on the screen in front of you guys, and it is still total silence. You can hear crickets. There's nothing that's being said. Pretty much in terms of the Jamaica Football Federation, the only one that said something is Dennis Chung, and he did that in an interview with Sports Max. And usually, I'm sure the Jamaica Football Federation have caught wind of what was reported in the Guardian, because if Chung is talking about it, then I'm sure he would have spoken about it with his colleagues, or at least he should have spoken about it with his colleagues, right? Normal protocols. So if you're talking about the normal protocols, then another thing that would be completely normal for any respected federation is for them to actually address the people, us, the 12th man. But oftentimes when it comes to us being the 12th man, especially where the women's team is concerned, it's almost as if people just completely forget about us, as if we're irrelevant, like we don't count, like as if to say that we're not an important asset. Everyone feels as if they are more important than the 12th man. Everyone involved around the Reggae Girls, everything to do with coaching, everything to do with the Jamaica Football Federation, you all have this little attitude to say that you're more important than the 12th man. And news for you, the most important asset when it comes to our women's football team and the men's team is the 12th man. So you can't keep on pushing us to the side, overlooking us, failing to give us transparency. And then when we press on and ask those necessary and relevant questions, you feel offended. You can't feel offended because it feels as if there's too much secrecy going on when it comes to our football, especially where the women's team is concerned. It's too much. There's far too much secrecy going on. There's far too much lack of transparency. Whenever we're talking about the Reggae Girls lately, we're always saying there's a lack of transparency. Even when Coach Busby sat in the press conference there where he was talking about giving us a statement as it relates to not the statement, when he was giving us the squad announcement, it just felt off. We all said it, that something just does not feel right. Now, again, when we're talking about protocols, what the JFF Football Federation should have done at this point is to address us, the people. They should have at least given us a statement. What that statement looks like, I'm assuming, is down to them, but there's no acknowledgement of said report. So that to me is a slap in the face. Because I am concerned, one, as a 12 man, as one of the 12 men, as a compatriot, as a woman, I'm concerned that you're not addressing it, whether or not you feel like it's a witch hunt or not. Address the issue. Address the issue. Don't ignore the elephant in the room. They could have just kept it very simple. They could have been quite vague. They could have alluded to the fact that they've seen the report and more info will be followed in due course. Something of that ilk, but they're not doing nothing like that. They're not doing nothing like that. So when people get upset and people are firing back and people are asking questions, don't get in your feelings. Because one thing I've noticed about following women's football, I've said it a number of times, that it is so difficult to follow women's football because it is underreported, and because it is underreported, people have develop this habit, or they bathe in this habit where they keep everything close to their chest. Like, you knock on someone's door and you ask them questions and they're ignoring you. Now, when you go off and you formulate your own opinion, they take offense to that. But if you're ignoring us when we're trying to get to the bottom of things, what do you expect us to do? What do you expect us to do? So it's a very weird situation to be in. Now, in terms of the lack of transparency, in my opinion, guys, this is further hurting the women's program. All of this is further adding hurt and pain to the women's program, right? Because in my opinion, as I've always said with what I say on my channel, for the most part, for what I am saying, a lot of the times it might just not hold water, or it might hold water in terms of me sharing my opinion. It might hold water. On the other hand, it might just be far from the truth, right? But again, when you look at that Guardian article there, it's difficult to look at that article and not ask questions, right? I think the article poses questions leading to assumption. The questions that's being posed in that article, I believe, leads to an assumption, whether you guys want to accept it or not. Right? And in my opinion, and I've said it, and whether I am right or wrong, you can only blame yourself, because you're not keeping it real with us. You're not being honest. You're being disingenuous. In my opinion, it feels as if the JFS stripped Alison Swaby of the vice captain's armband. Because unless I was born big, maybe I was, but she should have worn the captain's armband against France, because it was always portrayed that she was the vice captain. I don't know, maybe I'm living under a rock. I apologize if I've missed an announcement where it was announced that Alison Swaby is no longer the captain. Maybe I missed it, and I apologize if I missed the announcement, because I have clearly gotten it wrong, right? So she should have been the captain in the absence of Bunny Shaw, who I am assuming is still the captain, although the disrespect that Bunny Shaw gets, the dirt that is thrown on her name. You notice nowadays when they're talking about Bunny Shaw that they don't even refer to her as our captain, as our skipper. You just hear Reggae Girl. When it comes to Alison Swaby, one of our own. They're not saying vice captain. They're not saying Reggae Girl's captain. You just give you the name and number. So again, all of that is open to interpretation. So as I said, I believe that she was stripped of the captain's armband, right? And when I look at Busby's, I go back and I look back at Busby's press conference there where he did the announcement. And as I said, something felt a little bit off. It felt a little bit off because Busby, for the most part, yes, he gave us some invaluable information in terms of who's been called into the squad, you know, new player call-ups and so on. And he also shared with us at the time that there's been a few tweaks to the backroom staff with the introduction of our Reggae Boys legend, Mr. Dion Burton. And he also mentioned the name of a lady as well. And for the love of me, I cannot remember her name, and I should, because she's a woman, so that is shame on me on my behalf. I do apologize. Maybe someone can jog my memory. But saying that to say, he gave us two critical information there in regards to the shake-up, and I would have thought you would have done the same with regards to the captaincy. Now, this is where I'm saying that I feel like that is the doing of the Jamaica Football Federation, and for me, in my opinion, it was not challenged by Busby. The decision was not challenged by him. This is how it appeared. Whether it was challenged internally, I don't know. I don't know if it was challenged internally, but I do know that we were all taken aback when Miss Vian Sampson was wearing the captain's armband. Big up to Sampson. She definitely deserves to wear the captain's armband, as I've said on multiple live streams. But as I said, it does appear that Busby did not challenge the decision. Now, here is where the lack of transparency is shooting you guys in the foot, because if he didn't challenge the decision there, which is how it seems externally, not factually, but externally, that for me, perhaps he didn't challenge the decision there because maybe he might feel to himself that he shouldn't have been reappointed. And if he challenged the JFF, trouble would follow. This is the issue when you're not transparent and you're not honest. You allow people's mind to wander. You can't be upset when you allow people's mind to wander, especially given that football is a game of opinions. It is a game of opinions, and nothing is wrong with sharing your opinion so long as you've done so respectfully, right? So because you guys again are not giving us transparency and you're holding your cards close to your chest, people are formulating multiple assumptions. Now, continuing on to what I've said in terms of perhaps Busby might feel as if he should not have been reappointed, and the fact of the matter that with that is that what that means is that he probably wouldn't challenge certain decision or hasn't challenged certain decision because he might feel that it might lead to trouble somewhere down the line. Now, that in itself isn't far-fetched, because we have seen in the past both where Reggae Girlz coaches, former coaches and ex-coaches for the men's team are concerned, that when they speak out publicly, hello, to no surprise, their position is short-lived. It's somehow something goes wrong and they have been shown the exit door. So there's multiple things to dissect as it relates to Hubert Busby Jr. and this allegation, this gray cloud. And it is a gray cloud. It is a gray cloud. I'm not interested in whether you think he's innocent or whether you think he's guilty, because that's not for us to decide. That's besides the point. That's completely besides the point. Whether you like him or whether you dislike him, I couldn't care less. Again, that has nothing to do with the topic of conversation or to do with what we're looking at in front of us with the writing in black and white. Right? So for me, another thing that I'm asking myself is, where's the campaign? Where's the pushback? Like, where is the pushback? Because it is so uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable conversation to have, but we have to have this conversation. I cannot sit here and bypass not having the conversation, because people are going to look and say, you know what, Crystal, you're a hypocrite, because if it was the JFF that did wrong, you'd be the first to talk about it. And then you'll be absolutely correct. So just because it is Hubert Busby and not Mr. Ricketts doesn't mean that I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it if it makes sense and the topic of conversation makes sense and it is one that is worthy of being discussed. Now, as I said, whether or not, because things that's been taken from, information taken from the Guardian's report, I think it was reported on the 1st of November, combined with the recent report interview there with the Sports Max. I think, in my opinion, when you look at things in hindsight and how we got to the present and how everything unfolded when Hubert Busby was suspended, in my opinion, you guys have still done wrong. The suspension, I believe, is probably the one thing where the Jamaica Football Federation made the right call. You made the right call with the suspension, and I think that was you was off to a good start. But then there was rumors that were circulating within, maybe perhaps in Jamaica and also in the YouTube circuit. There was rumors that was being circulated even after he was suspended, right, circulating around Hubert Busby Jr. And those rumors, they were concerning, and those were rumors that the Jamaica Football Federation should have nipped in the bud. So where was the equality? Where was the transparency? When there were people, and you guys, I'm not sure if the Jamaica Football Federation were aware of the rumors, and I'd like to think not, hence them not nipping stuff in the bud. But when you're hearing people going out their way and saying that Busby was seen at a game, these are some of the things that people were saying, that he was seen at a game after the suspension. It does make you wonder that if the Jamaica saw something like that and it's not true, nip it in the bud, because this is one of the reasons why we're failing why we struggle to trust you. This is one of the reasons why we struggle to trust you. So for me, again, where was the campaign to say until an announcement on the outcome of the investigation is made public, Busby cannot be around the team? That was one of the things that really irked me about this whole allegation. I'm going to stick a pin in it, and I'm going to play a video again. And at the time when I shared the video, clearly I rubbed some people up the wrong way. Though I did not realize what was going on in the video, I will play that video again. And I play it again because when I posted the video, I wasn't looking at the background. I was just looking at what was in front of me. I was looking at what was in front of me, and what was in front of me was Mr. Ricketts, the president of the Jamaica Football Federation. And the stuff that he was saying, I didn't agree with him, clearly, because I kind of felt like he was taking credit away from the achievements of the girls, all the multiple trials and tribulations that they would have gone through. I felt that the bulk of that achievement, their back-to-back World Cup qualification, sits in their lap, and then you have to extend that with the community around the girls, backroom staff and so on. So I didn't agree when Mr. Ricketts stepped up and said what he had to say. And he said this moment right here. I'm going to play that moment again before I continue with the rest of my points, okay?
You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
The Jamaica Football Federation have had a kind of relationship now we've never had before. And I tell you, these three entities have knocked heads together. And what is the end result? We have created history. And a number of times people would say things, probably not derogatory, but say things about each of these entities that are not deserving. JFF don't do nothing. Marlins get more credit than they're due. The Reggae Girls don't do anything. Not true. Not true. And I'm saying this publicly, and I hope I'm being taken, that each of these entities would have given as much support that would have needed us to qualify.
I'm not going to finish the rest of that because that is probably a golden moment that is probably shouldn't have been, but is definitely rubbed a couple people up the wrong way. Definitely rubbed me up the wrong way when it was first shared with us. And yeah, so when I put this video out, again, more questions were asked. One of the big questions, which I think is still left unanswered because I can't tell you if it is or if it isn't, but people are saying, is that Busby in the background? And this was around the time where, for the most part, we're still in the loop, in the limbo there, wondering what's going on with Busby. Is he coming back? Isn't he coming back? So when the question was asked there, like, is that Busby? I think that caught a lot of people by surprise. And I think here's where JFF went wrong. If you're going to have him in the room where the majority of your 12th man are still made to feel perplexed by or just completely don't know what's going on with the investigation or the outcome of the investigation, where you guys went wrong is that because you did not let us know beforehand, when that video fell into our laps and we saw the video, it caused confusion that could easily have been avoided. Whether there was malicious intent to share that video with the media, I don't know. I don't know if there was. So again, because of some of the stuff that I've mentioned, don't be surprised when people are leaning towards the Guardian's report, because the situation from the moment where the allegation there was initially reported on to the present, I think the situation could definitely have been handled better. There's been moments there that you guys should have handled stuff better. And I think this moment there in front of me on the screen is another moment there that should have been handled better, right? Whether you guys want to agree with that or not, perhaps that's subjective. Perhaps none of that is factual, right? So I'm looking at the report and I'm seeing again from the Guardian, and it's basically why is the Guardian report saying the opposite of what the Jamaica football stated as it relates to the reappointment of Busby? And I think that the announcement of the reappointment came way back in May. So again, why are they saying the complete opposite of what you've said? I don't really understand that. I'm still confused. And Vin Blaine is someone who at one point was heavily talked about. Clearly, he's a guy there that potentially rubs people up the wrong way. I don't know. I'm not here to tell you who to like, who not to like. I'm just here to give my opinion and hope that I don't disrespect people in the process, especially you guys there in the comment section. Although some of you like to pull my leg, I can see one of your names in the comment section. I'll get around to you in a bit. So yeah, Vin Blaine, I remember the conversation there, and it's so funny that he was basically refreshing everyone's memory. He was appointed because of the backlash due to the allegation there around Hubert Busby Jr., right? And I remember people, after the fallout between the team and Vin Blaine, I remember people saying, a number of people actually, that whilst you might not like Vin Blaine on a personal level, but I think he won a lot of people over, and perhaps this is where the rift started to become more apparent between the 12th man and their love for the Reggae Girls, because I believe in hindsight, when you look at that moment and the fact that Vin Blaine in all of that, letters being basically signed and sent to the president, and subsequently Vin Blaine walking away, a lot of people actually looked at that and said to themselves that Vin Blaine put Jamaica first. Not my words, these were what the 12th man were saying, that Vin Blaine put Jamaica first. So of course, looking at that in hindsight, I actually found myself asking myself that question as well, is that why isn't Busby doing the same? Why isn't he doing the same in terms of putting his country first, right? Because this mess, it again, if what the Guardian is reporting holds water, it just doesn't seem like it's going to go anywhere anytime soon. It just does not. It just seems like a stain, a bad smell, a dark cloud, a gray cloud, whichever way you want to put it. It just seems like it's not going away anytime soon. And I look at the whole situation, it feels very sad. It feels unfortunate because it does also feel quite foul and selfish. Yes, of course, it is innocent until proven guilty. We all know that. But in my opinion, when you look at some of the stuff that's been said out there with regards to Busby's whereabouts and whether or not that is true or untrue, I don't think the Jamaica Football Federation's ever come out and nip that in the bud. So if those are the things that poke question into the handling of this allegation. And for me, if it is true, it's a case of simply saying that, again, that he had no right being around the team before an announcement on the outcome of the allegation was made public. Because as I said, looking at things in hindsight, after that suspension there that was announced by the Jamaica Football Federation, people were talking about it. And unless these people are blind, or unless they have a sinister motive, or a witch hunt against Busby, and these are people that probably don't even know each other, saying that they can see Busby at a match, a Reggae Girls match. I can't remember exactly what that match was. I probably have to go back and do some deep thinking. But even this video that I showed you guys, again, someone in the background that appears to carry similar resemblance to Busby. People are asking, is that Busby? What is going on? So the fact that quite a few things there haven't been nipped in the bud, it does come across as the coach being made to just do as he pleases. And it's such a delicate situation. And the fact that multiple things have not been nipped in the bud, and the only thing that they really clearly took control of is the fact that they basically gave him his suspension. But post that, it does feel like a lot has not been nipped in the bud. It does feel like it is staining the team's reputation. It does feel like a stain on the team because, as I said, I think, you know, looking in hindsight, it does feel as if the separation within the fan base begun around the Vin Blaine time, right? Because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, why are the girls being allowed to choose their coaches, and etc. etc." Whether you think that's right or whether you think that's wrong, I'm not here to persuade you or force you to think a certain way. That one is down to you. But I think it's safe to say that Busby's allegation there and the suspension kick-started a reaction. And some of that reaction there that we've seen, again, when we look at Vin Blaine, we were always told that it's a toxic situation. Like internally, it's a toxic situation. Externally, it felt like a toxic situation. And Blaine allegedly created a toxic environment. And subsequently, as I said, he was made to walk. Girls clearly didn't want to be coached by him. And I think if we're being honest with ourselves, again, personal feelings to the side, I don't care whether you like Busby or dislike him. I don't care if you're his biggest fan or he's your worst enemy. Put your personal feelings and your personal bias to one side. Like, this for me is another toxic situation. And it does, for the most part, feels as if it lacks transparency. It's disheartening. It is heavily disheartening. And I don't know, do you guys think that this is a good atmosphere? Because I don't feel like it's a good atmosphere. I don't feel like it's a good atmosphere. And since the allegation, it does feel like things have turned sour and we're now back to square one. So I don't know. Where the good bit of news is going to come from. I don't know where the positivity is going to come from. But me, I am completely fed up and just tired of the state of women's football and sick and tired of the tug of war, sick and tired of being made to feel as if we're being lied to, because this is how it feels. It does feel like we're just being lied to. Whether or not we are, it still feels as if we're being lied to. Let me see what you guys are saying there in the comments section. I think I'm gonna have to powder my nose in a bit, but before that, should I drop a link in the comment section? You guys can come on if you want. Again, just keep it respectful between myself, definitely, the guys in the comment section, and also our topic of conversation. Be respectful to Busby, also Chung, anyone working for the Jamaica Football Federation, and of course the team. Right. So that is really it from me. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comment section. Big up yourself, Rob Swift. DC, good day. I hope you're well. Danny Dread, big up yourself. John Mac Rentals, big up yourself. Conrad Smith, big up. Let's see what you guys are saying there. Duckland Stennett, I hope you're well. Hot chili, blessings to yourself as well. Bades, what's Bades saying? I asked the question about the meeting where the coach was present, but it wasn't answered directly. I'm lost. I asked the question about the meeting where the coach was present, but it wasn't answered. If it wasn't answered directly, then there goes another not failing to nip it in the bud, right? Big up yourself, Elite Sports. I hope you're in good health. You guys, please do. If I'm sure you all know Elite Sports, so if you don't know, please go ahead and subscribe to his channel. The issue was over 10 years ago and there was no laid against him. He was cleared and he was also hired by two that what the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? If you're a fan of Busby, that's fine. Like, go off, but talk sense, please. In all fairness, the role of the captain. Yeah, you are right. The role of the captain is not permanent, but if you can tell us about backroom changes, then you can also tell us about the captaincy armband being changed. The captain, how would you feel? Would you carry the same mindset if Andre Blake, God forbid, was injured? Damian Lowe was in the team. He's the vice captain, but instead you have, let's say you have I don't know, Ethan Pinnock wearing the captain's armband. Would you not ask questions? You'd be like, I thought the captain was was Damian Lowe. And then your mind will start to wonder, you start to come up with assumption, is there something going on between Damian Lowe and the head coach? Women's football is no difference. I don't see why people don't want to treat women's football the same way that they treat men's football. Here we go. Here we go. Alabama in the comment section. Good night to yourself. I hope you are well. Big up yourself, Jordan. Conroy Sterling, I hope you are well. Tuffy Rudy, I hope you are good. CN Hall, I don't know who CN Hall is, but I do know what I'm about to do to you because you're just a parasite on a Sunday. So let me just do what I need to do because I'm not really sure why you're in my comment section. Some of you don't like women's football. If you don't like women's football and you don't like the Reggae Girls, I'm not the channel for you to mess with. Just piss off. Like, stop rocking with my channel. Just go away. Jesus Christ, man. Just go away. You're annoying. So annoying. Like, you don't like women's football. I'm not supposed to say nothing. It's my channel. I'm not supposed to say nothing. Talk about people like drama. Why are you here? Go somewhere else. So annoying. Send your mother to bed. Don't worry about me going to bed. Don't come over here and be disrespectful because I disrespect you back. Please believe I will. Don't come over here with your foolishness, thinking that I'm going to tolerate it. I will not tolerate it. Foolishness that you don't like to carry on with. Big up yourself, Danny Dread, in case I haven't said it already. Delano Blake, big up yourself. I don't know if any one of you guys want to come on, but as I said, I have already put the comment, the link in the comment section. So yeah, I think for the most part, there's a lot of questions there that is left unanswered. I'm not sure how you guys feel about what's going on, but for me, feel like crashing out. I definitely feel like crashing out because it's just, yeah, it's just sad. It's just really, really sad, and I'm just tired of the nonsense. I don't know how the Reggae Girls feel because it's almost never ending. It's definitely just never ending, and yeah, I can't deal with slackness. And this is how it feels. It just feels like slackness. I feel when it comes to women's football, a lot of concerning topic of conversation just feels like it's being treated like fluff. It just feels like you're just treating it like fluff, like you're just huff and puff and blow it away, and that's that. That's how it feels. Whether or not the Guardian's going to do a follow-up report, I guess that remains to be seen. I don't know. I don't know what the outcome's going to be, but hey, I am definitely disappointed that not shocked, but disappointed. I don't even think I should be disappointed with the Jamaica Football Federation because they are what they are. Leopard doesn't change its spot, but again, it's quite something that there's a reports out there linked to your current coach, and you're not even having the decency to acknowledge the report. I think, yeah, that tells us everything we need to know about women's football, the state of women's football. So if you guys haven't hit the like button already, I'm not really sure what you're waiting on. Please do go ahead and hit the like button. I think I'm going to close off on the show. Maybe I'll take this one to maybe and 4 more minutes, and then I will close off. And I want to let you guys know, if you guys don't have no respect for me, I won't have no respect for you. I'm not going to have no respect for you. If you guys don't have, if the slightest bit of disrespect, I'm going to disrespect you back. Because one thing for certain, I don't come on here and disrespect people. I don't come on here and disrespect you guys in the comment section or disrespect my topic. It's what time is it? Almost 2 a.m. and you guys, some of you just don't have no respect. You save that nonsense for someone else's channel. Please don't come over here with that. Please don't come over here with that. So yeah, guys, a disheartening, emotional topic to talk about, a sensitive one. Is it going to be resolved? Perhaps not. I don't know. I mean, if it doesn't get resolved, I'm not really sure what that means. I'm not even sure if I would even want to continue to cover the Reggae Girls, to be honest with you. I will be completely honest. I don't think I would want to cover the Reggae Girls anymore. Just kind of leave them to it, let them do their thing, which is a shame because I love the team. I love my national team. Also enjoy following the girls at club level, but yeah, there's just certain things that my mind just can't manage. And this happens to be one of them, right? If people have not done their basic due diligence check and we're being lied to, that's not something that I can turn around and support. Sorry, but I just can't. Guys, I've got about maybe 2 more minutes and then I'm going to go ahead and close off on my live stream. Before I forget my manners, thank you to those of you who have tuned in. Thank you to those of you who have hit the like button. Your support definitely does not go unnoticed. If you're making your way home from work, I do hope that you make it home safe and unharmed. I think this has been one of my saddest live streams. Like, my energy is just rock bottom, just not in the mood to speak. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm just going to close off on the live stream. I would last couple of live streams, I've done what 6 hours, 7 hours, close to 7 hours in total. But I think I'm gonna close off on my live stream in a couple of seconds. Kind of wonder if these people will ever change. Don't know. The Observer mentioned Busby's history in an article after Busby was named for this latest coaching stint. That says DC. Yeah, I don't think it's going to go away unless everything is made crystal clear and there's no room for assumption. I don't think this one is going away. Sorry, but I just don't think it's going away. Guys, I don't even know if I'm going to be doing a live stream tomorrow or during the week. Depends on how I'm feeling. Yeah, very discouraging right now as it relates to women's football. And I'd like to say I'll segue and cover the men's game, but I mean, Jesus, it's even scarier over on that side. So yeah, I'll let you guys know my decision soon. But yeah, I am going to have to love you and leave you. If you have not hit the like button, please do go ahead and hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, please do go ahead and hit the subscribe button. All right, you know how it goes. Until next time, take care.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.